Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Moms in Business podcast. I'm your host, Allison, and this is...
I'm Jade, and I know it's been a while since you've heard from us, but it's been a rough little start to 2022. So
Yeah, no kidding. We had a lot of lofty goals in mind for the podcast for this year, and we have started out rough. We are not there, but that's okay. We've dealt with a whole lot of stuff since January 1 up into February 18th.
But we're back, so excited to be back, and gonna make the rest of it a great year.
Yeah.
So
I guess we'll kind of start at the beginning as to what the struggle has been, and I'm going to let you start. I feel like you kind of ran into a couple more than I did.
I've been on the struggle bus, which has been most moms, I feel like, working moms, which is kind of our topic today is we're checking in. Like, how are you all holding up? So my family has been hit big by... First, we had a stomach bug. Then we had ear tubes for Mac and got an ear infection after the ear tubes. Then we had COVID hit. Then we had classroom closures with daycare because there was an exposure case. I don't know what you call that. And then stomach bug again. So it's one thing after another that's keeping me from getting into a routine, getting the kids into a routine, and crushing some work goals because... When your kids get shut down, when classes gets shut down, if I could talk, if schools get shut down or daycare classes, and then you're working from home, you're commission-based, like, it goes to the wayside.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely impossible because the beautiful part about being self-employed and being able to, like, do your own thing, being commission-based, is you get to choose when and where you work and how often you work and how your work flows into your daily life. But
you're also the first one to get pulled out of work to go get your sick kid.
Exactly, because you have so much flexibility that all of that flexibility falls on your shoulders. So anything extra gets put right on to you because you're the one that can handle it. And then on top of that, having to put life and work in, like, molded together is actually what is impossible. We have the luxury of coming to the office. The kids go to daycare, and that's when we get the work done. And then once you pick up the kids, it's like only the must-dos are done when the kids are around. And that's pretty much all that got done was the must-dos.
Oh, I was must-do and like, hey, Kyle, I have to go make a phone call now. Can you, like...
Can we squeeze that in?
Yeah, can I squeeze a phone call into my pantry? But my kids are going to grow up. I need to be in that moment, and that's the mental struggle of being okay with not crushing your work goals at the moment, but knowing you're there for your kids and doing what your mom duties are. And that's where I want to be mentally, but the mental balance, and then just losing your mind. Like being in a COVID lockdown with your kids in your house in the winter, like horrible. Like,
what do you even do?
No, Kyle makes bets. Oh, what's the over under? You're going to lose your SHIT. Like,
yeah.
I was like, I'm taking the under because it's going to be about 10 minutes. Like, why would you bet on this? I feel lost. It's a losing bet. Like, just, yeah. Kids don't understand what they're doing. We don't use the word hate in our house, but the one thing you can say is, I hate COVID. So my 5-year-old, she's like screaming it, I hate COVID. We're canceling plans. We can't get a babysitter, make plans, and go through with it. We have had to cancel so many things in 2022 that I'm like, why are we even trying? Like, just sit at home.
Right. And then you just sit at home and realize why you want to go out somewhere. And it's all just like, the grass is always greener. But you said it like so perfectly with just like trying to remember in that moment, your kids are only going to be this age once. And while it does seem very unfortunate and frustrating when you have like the drive and the desire to get to work and like get your goals set, it just feels impossible to want to do both at the same time. And giving yourself a little bit of grace and forgiveness that like, I can't be perfect today. Like, I'm not going to be able to do all of this extra stuff that I wanted to get done because I've got to focus on my kids today is like...
Drink the wine, drink the White Claw, whatever you want to drink. Like, don't worry about the pounds on the scale because your sanity is worth more than that right now. That I didn't lose any weight this week, that my New Year's goal was to lose 20 pounds. And I still got 20 to go. Yeah. Be okay with that.
I guess so with me, it was more, we ran into the holidays, of course. And I am obsessed with the holidays. I want to do everything so big and I want to do it all and just like have so much fun and really focus on the holidays because, that's not when the primary focus of my work is. So I like to focus my work throughout the rest of the year. And then come January 1, it's like, let's just go. Let's go head first into work and just like engulf yourself in it so you can get all the kinds of things done you need to get done. Well, then we had a ton of daycare class closures. Mm-hmm. We were like back to back, could not go in. And then there was an exposure risk. And so we had to go home and quarantine because of the exposure risk. And then after that, there was a closure. And then it just continued that way where I was just home with the kid all day long. And
can we talk about that, the common sense of that too? So as one kid, it makes sense. Like, okay, my kid got exposed at school. We have to quarantine. Do you really quarantine, like, in the rest of your life? No one's doing that. But for me, I had 3 kids. So I have 3 classrooms, and then some of them will be combined at certain points. And so I would literally have one kid on a COVID exposure sent home, but they would ride in the car with me to take the other 2 to school. And then as soon as I picked up the other 2, they'd all put all their germy, slimy messes. We lived together. Yeah. So I'm okay with doing things that make sense, but then I'm also... it's very hard mentally to do some of these things and have these burdens when the common sense is not there.
Yeah.
The protocols in place. Also, we're paying you for this.
We didn't get to stop paying for daycare, that's for sure.
But I'm also not making money. But let me continue that high expensive daycare bill. And I love my daycare, love my staff. These poor staff members, I want to give my money to them because they're being quarantined and not getting paid. So we know how much they get paid to begin with. So
yeah, it's just super unfair to the whole industry. Yeah. All of us, everyone is just struggling with the exact same thing. And it was kind of nice to see that, you weren't alone in the struggle. Like other daycare classes were closed, other people were getting exposed, other this, other that. And so it was nice because it felt like January didn't happen. Nobody did anything in January, and then February kind of creeped up and it was like, oh man, maybe we actually can get to doing something now.
I'm on week 1. This is my first week that my kids have been to school the whole time.
Yeah. So, and for us, it was just trying, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw my stories from a few weeks back where I was day 1, I was like, I'm going to be this badass. And that's the mindset that I walked into my quarantine week with my kid, right? Where it said okay, if I mentally prepare myself for this and I say, I can do this, I'm going to be the best, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and it's going to be fine.
That was your Monday. How was Thursday?
Well, okay, that was my Monday. By Tuesday, I was done. No. Day 2 rolled around, and I posted, and I said, okay, actually, so I did everything I was supposed to do yesterday, and I didn't know that I was supposed to, span out. I just ended up sitting at home because, you can't realistically make phone calls and, do all the more personal things that you want to do whenever the baby's running around, right? He can walk now, so he's just toddling into everything. And so I can only do things that require minimal attention to work and very minimal, actual personal connection. So you're just working on literally nothing and then watching the kid and then doing everything else around the house. You try and take advantage of, I can clean the house. I can catch up on laundry. Yada. I did that on Monday, and then by Tuesday I had nothing to do. And so then I said, I still can't get done what I need to get done, and I already did all the other things to fill my day. So by the end of the day, I looked at my husband and I said, I'm bored. I'm upset, and I need to get out of here. And we went for a drive.
Well, and find your squad, too, because I think that what's carried. I have a group text with some friends, and it's checking in. Who's staying today? I just lost my mind. We even tried going back to beginning COVID stages of a Zoom happy hour after 8 when our kids go to bed. I didn't make it. They still did it, but I was like, I can't even make a Zoom mom's night right now. That's how bad my house was in the struggle. Yeah. And then another mom, I'm like, I need 1 hour. I have one meeting I need to go to. It's at the library. So another mom and her kid met me played with my kid for an hour.
That's awesome.
While I had my meeting.
Yeah.
So it's literally like, do what you got to do to survive.
Do what you got to do. And we're all in this together. And just kind of figuring out what actually keeps you sane the whole time is probably the only solution to being on this kind of struggle bus. But I'd say since then, I have done a great job of just to, give myself a little bit of praise here, of getting back on the horse and like diving into work and just being productive, because I already feel like I've lost some time. So I operate best in a rush. So like with that rush just comes higher productivity, and like, so I feel pretty good for the last like week and a half.
That's good. I'm on like day 3, so 4.
I feel like you've been productive since you've been back.
Yeah, which was just this week. So.
Yeah, we just like started.
I don't know what Monday was, but that's January 1 for us. We're going to have a good rest of the year.
Yes, and we will be back with more podcasts. Yes. We have a ton of ideas and, content for you guys. It's just getting it on the schedule, because that's been the other thing. We try and schedule something, but then because we're like 4 or 5 weeks behind, getting the podcast filming on the schedule is also challenging. We're trying to fit in all the appointments we were supposed to have in January and February, and it's just been so hectic. But thank you so much to my good friend and past client. She is the owner of Brewed and Frothy Coffee Co., and we would like to do a giveaway of one of her bags of her beautiful coffee beans. And actually, I'm going to go grab it. Let me just make this real cinematic.
And these are for real coffee drinkers, or you can there's coffee, I learned a lot. So you can actually do something that changes the beans into a Keurig pod. So
like grinding it and then like putting it in a K-cup. Like, those like reusable K-cups. Yeah.
So there is a way to use regular coffee in a Keurig.
Yeah, so the only way to enter is not overly complicated. Just comment on this podcast wherever you've heard it with your biggest mom struggle or your biggest mom win since the start of the year, and you'll be entered in to win. And when do we want to draw a winner? A week from now?
Yeah, we'll do it next Friday.
Next Friday, we will announce the winner. Thank you all so much for listening to us and our struggle. We will see you next time. Bye.
Hello, hello, hello.
Fabulous. Okay.
Fabulous.
So wonderful.